everybody. I think we're live. Hope you guys are doing well this evening. Happy Wednesday night. And let me know if you guys can hear me okay. And let me know if the music is too loud or if you can hear it or you can't hear it. Let me know because I'm trying out something a little different here with the StreamYard to see if we can play music in the background this time. So welcome. Daniel is here. Mike is here. Hello. David is here. Richard is here. Loud and clear, though he can't hear any music. That's fine. Let's just not worry about it. That's okay. I just thought we could try, and it's not working, so that's okay. No worries at all. So, no music, though? Okay, that's fine, you guys. Don't worry about it. Let's see. Let me shut that down, and we won't worry about that right now. So, let's see. Mike is here. He says, hi, Beth. I promised I would stop by and say hi. I would like to stay a bit and listen to your top 10. I have my top 10 on paper in front of me. Okay, great. Well, spoiler, I've picked 15 movies here. So, I'm not cranking it to 11, David. It's loud enough as is. Even at like level 2, it was so loud for me when we were testing that out. So, it's okay. We'll figure it out. So, hello to Daniel. Did I miss you say risky business? Surely you said it right. You'll just have to wait and see if risky business made my list. So, but I hope you guys are all having a great evening. And again, like I said, we're going to be going through my top 10 plus 5, so 15 movies. It was very hard to narrow down to 10. So that's why I'm giving you 15 just for a little bonus. So, and David's going to do his top 10 tomorrow. So go over there and check out his top 10 video. And let's see, Captain Spaulding is here. Hello. How are you doing, sir? So yeah, we'll just give it a minute and see if anybody else wants to come pop in the chat, and then we'll get started. So I've got a little slideshow presentation for each movie that we're going to talk about. Hopefully it'll work. We'll see. Richard asks, is it 80s or just your favorites of all time? Favorites of all time. But, let's see. All but 1, 2. I have notes here. 3 are not from the 1980s. I'll just say that much. Okay. And Dale is here. Dale, you have inspired this. Got to give you credit. I'm going to link your live stream down below when this goes live. But Dale and his crew of guests did their top 10 movies, and that kind of inspired me to do mine, as well as my friend Mike asked me if I could do my top 10 list. So that's what we're here to do. So I appreciate you guys. I always like, when we inspire each other. Hope that makes sense. So you'll just have to wait and see. So let's go ahead and get started because I don't want to keep you here all night long. I have been known to ramble. So, what were my deciding factors? Okay. Well, excuse me. Sorry. Let me take a drink. Hold on just a second. I'm new at all this, so bear with me, guys. My deciding factors were going to be sentimental value, nostalgia, movies that I've seen kind of the most, that I have a lot of love and affection towards. So definitely the top 5 are pretty set in stone. And then the rest were kind of, I went through my I went through my Letterboxd, and I have a Letterboxd account, and I log a lot of my movie watching on there. So I kind of went through that to see what movies have I logged the most, what movies I've rated the highest, things like that. So that was my deciding factor, and everybody's will be different. So Mike says, I will just say it again, Top Gun Maverick is my favorite of all time. Wow, that movie was amazing. I cannot wait to watch that again. So I'm definitely going to buy it on a physical form when it comes out. which I think will be pretty soon. So, yeah, it was, I think I have it right behind Elvis. I think. I can't remember. I'd have to look on my Letterboxd. So, and hello to Mr. Bones is here. Hello. So let's get started, guys. And let's see what Daniel says here. He says, cinema doesn't get much better than the love on a real train scene with Phil Collins in the air tonight playing. That's a great scene. That is a wonderful, wonderful scene. I actually introduced my kids to Risky Business here a few weeks ago. We do Sunday movie nights at my house, and we usually take turns picking movies, and I picked Risky Business, and they'd never seen it before. And it was one of those movies that you kind of wondered, is it gonna translate well to the younger generation? I have a 16-year-old and an 18-year-old, and boy, they got it. It's one of those 80s films that really holds up well. So, yeah, definitely. And yes, since we got 2 mics in here, you can just call me Michael. Okay. Mike, well, that's going to be even more confusing. I'll just call you Slim Michael. How about that? Richard says, I think it's this month Maverick comes out. Can't wait. Awesome. I will be buying it as soon as it comes out. So, Daniel says she's 7. Yeah. Well, I started watching, I watched some stuff that I probably shouldn't have been watching at 7. I'm sure we all have done that, right? And Mike hasn't seen Elvis yet. Oh my gosh. It's so good. Very emotional. I will say that much. Okay? So, let's get started. So, here we go. I'm going to add it to the stream, see if it works. So, number 15. We'll start with 15 and work our way down, guys. And I would like, if you guys want to play along in the chat, drop in your, I know it was top 10, but if you can come up with 15 on the fly, great. So here we go. Okay, number 15. And hello to Rob. Hello, Rob. Hello. Number 15 for me is going to be The Last American Virgin. The Last American Virgin. So, are you guys familiar with this movie? More and more people I'm running into know this movie and appreciate it for what it is. So, I wrote down a few little notes here that I will kind of read off because I can't memorize everything. But Last American Virgin is a 1982 American teen sex comedy film written by and directed by Boaz Davidson. And it was based on his Israeli film called Lemon Popsicle. And there is a whole series of Lemon Popsicle films. So he, teamed up with the Canon guys, if you're familiar with the Canon group, and they wanted to kind of Americanize the premise behind Lemon Popsicle. And so we have The Last American Virgin. So it's been updated to be taking place in the 80s instead of the 50s. And instead of like 50s, classic oldies music, there's like new wave pop music in the film. So one of the things about Last American Virgin that makes it stand out, it's not your run-of-the-mill TNA sex comedy. Sure, there's plenty of that in there. There is. There's going to be the same hijinks that you would get from, this movie came out a few months prior to Fast Times at Ridgemont High, which that, of course, overshadowed this film. But I really do believe Last American Virgin deserves a place in, pop culture history because of there's some themes in it that really you won't get in any other, teen sex romp film. I don't want to give anything away. I would like you guys to see it. Unfortunately, it's not streaming anywhere. I know there is a rip of it on YouTube, but it's not the best quality. So definitely seek it out. There's a DVD and Blu-ray that you guys can still get. But it's just a film with so much heart, lots of comedy, funny scenes. But in the end, it's a good love story, kind of a love triangle in it too, and a very unexpected twist that you might not get in a lot of other films. Hopefully that makes sense. So let's see what everybody has to say. Yeah, it does. It does. Aaron says his first honorable mention is Heathers. That is a great film. Great, great movie. Dark. Joe Bob played it on Shudder, so definitely check that out. Yeah, I would recommend it, Daniel. I think you might like it. And David said he watched it through YouTube, not the best quality. So yeah, if you can find it online, or find it in physical form, I would definitely check it out. So the soundtrack is so killer. It's got the Cars, you have early U2, the Police, the Waitresses, just a solid soundtrack that is definitely worth checking out if you can find it. So that is going to be my number 15. Let's go to number 14. Number 14 is The Lost Boys. Yes, The Lost Boys, which it just had a birthday the other day. So, Lost Boys just turned 35. Can you believe it? Wow. So, of course, Lost Boys came out in 1987. It was directed by Joel Schumacher. Everybody should be pretty familiar with The Lost Boys, I would think. I don't know. Maybe not everyone, but a lot of people would be familiar with it. And then here's, I knew this little fact, but I thought I would throw this in here for those of you that don't. The title is a reference to the Lost Boys from Peter Pan and Neverland, who, like the vampires, never grow up. So I thought that was really cool to note that, which I do, I knew that little fact, but maybe not everybody did. So, of course, it stars Kiefer Sutherland. You also have Corey Haim, Corey Feldman, Jason Patric. Diane Wiest is in the film as well. Edward Herman, Alex Winter, Barnard Hughes, Grandpa. I just love Grandpa to death. He's so funny. Yes. Come with us, Michael. I can't do David very well. Sorry, guys. But The Lost Boys, I remember watching this. My cousin had the poster, the big one-sheet poster on her wall. And I was so fascinated with the faces. And I remember watching this film at my cousin's house. I'll probably be referencing her a lot over this stream. But I remember watching this movie for the first time at her house. And, just being, like, in love with these vampires, and what they were doing, and just, it was it wasn't my first introduction to horror, but it was early on. So, what's that say? Let's see. Don't touch Grandpa's Oreos or root beer. The second drawer in the fridge is off limits. That is right. That is limit. Yeah. And he subscribes to the TV guide, but he doesn't have a TV. I love that. Oh, gosh. Okay. Let's see. We're going to Death by Stereo. Yes, sir. I love that scene. Death by Stereo. That is awesome. The movie's just so full of those great, one-liners. Let's see. What was the first horror flick you watched? That was A Nightmare on Elm Street. Again, I watched it out at my cousin's house. When I would go to my aunt's house and visit my cousin, everything was kind of fair game. I grew up in a pretty conservative household. My mom, run a taut ship, as they say. She would not let me watch anything too racy or scary. So when I went out to my Aunt Brenda's house, though, game on. Anything, everything. So I was introduced to horror out there. And the funny story was, my younger cousin, Ashley is her name, she's 3 years younger than me. She's like miles ahead of me about films, even back then. But she popped in A Nightmare on Elm Street, and I was so scared. I watched the whole film. You'll just have to imagine that I watched the whole film with my hands over my eyes, and then I'd peek and then have to shut them and peek and shut them the whole time. And, from that point on, even though I was scared to death, I wanted more. You know what I mean? So it was from that moment on where, my love of horror began. So I definitely have to thank them Thank, yes, Aunt Brenda for the win. Rest in peace. She has passed away, and she is my favorite aunt, and we lost her in 2016. So I had a lot of good memories out there, and I'll probably have more to share. So Rachel says, that's how I still watch scary movies, when I have to watch them. Yeah, I understand. There's certain movies, some of these horror movies, I can't even watch them. They're just too scary. So I understand that. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Richard said the UK VHS had an image of David's vampire face with the moon above him on the back cover. It looked awesome. That would be cool. I'll have to see that. I'll have to drop a picture in the group, Dave, Richard, and I would like to see that if you can find it. That is cool. Aaron said, my first was Nightmare on Elm Street 3. Even though it was on network TV, still scared me silly. I bet. Yes, I could see that. I could see that. Rachel says her imagination goes into overdrive. Totally. I totally get that too. So, okay, let's go on. We're going to go to number 13. 13 is a cult classic, and it is The Rocky Horror Picture Show. I love this movie so much. Oh my gosh. So, of course, Rocky Horror Picture Show came out in 1975. The movie, it was based on the stage production. The movie has become I wrote it down here. Listen to this. In 2022, some 46 years after its premiere, the movie is still the longest running theatrical release in film history. It's never been out of the theater somewhere, which is amazing. Think about that. I mean, this movie was panned. It was, people didn't like it, didn't understand it when it released, and then it just it had that, kind of groundswell, and it grew and grew and grew, and people started liking it. They started coming to the shows, started dressing up, yelling back at the screen. It's very interactive. The songs are fun to sing along to. I took my daughter a couple years ago, before COVID. They had a showing here locally. And so she'd never been before. And I hadn't been since high school, but she hadn't been before. So she dressed up as Janet. Because she was a young lady and, she's the virgin. So anyway, she dressed up as Janet. And I remember, I think did they put a V on her hand or on her face? I can't remember. But they did like a little, I think it was a time warp competition or something. And I made her, she volunteered, but, I kind of nudged her along to participate in the little competition. And she won some free movie passes. So that was really cool. So Rocky Horror, it was written by Richard O'Brien, and of course stars Tim Curry as Dr. Frankenfurter. You have Meatloaf as Eddie in it. You have Little Nell, Patricia Quinn, and Richard O'Brien is in the film as well. It's just a great movie. If you've never seen it before, even if you don't like musicals, I would say give it a shot. Give it a shot. You might like it, So, Rachel says that she saw this one at the theater back in 79 or 80. Actually took Sue to see it with me. That's cool. Did they do the back, were they yelling at the screen back then? Because I'm sure they were. They throw toast, and then they, Janet will say something. They'll say, like, shut up, bitch. And they, it's so interactive. It's just so much fun. Let's see. Aaron says, I saw it in 1998 at our local theater at the midnight showing and had actors lip syncing the lines below the screen. Did the time warp in the aisles. Yeah. Isn't that fun? That is so much fun. Yeah. They did the same thing when we saw it. They had, they played it on the screen, and then they had people dancing like at the front of the screen. And again, like people were doing things, shooting water guns, throwing toast. Just having a blast. And let's see. Yes. Singing it with newspapers. Yep. Newspapers, costumes, water pistols. Oh, so much fun. I would not like to clean up that theater, though, after that. showing. That's where my mind goes. Okay, let's see. Mike left his top 15. So let's go through them real fast. We have I guess we'll start number 1, Top Gun Maverick. Die Hard, great film. Point Break, great. I mean, they're all great. Point Break, Lethal Weapon, Halloween 78, Halloween 2018, Die Hard 2, Nightmare on Elm Street, then 3, Halloween Kills, lots of Halloween, Michael, lots of Halloween. Hoosiers, The Lost Boys, The Natural, and It Chapter 2. Nice. Lots of good stuff in there. Lots of good stuff. Let's see. I used to live down the street from the gym where Hoosiers was filmed. Very cool. It was happening to borrow a term from an earlier age. Yes. Yes. Oh, Gary's here. Gary said he saw it twice, once with crowd participation and once without. Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, it's just so much fun. I encourage everyone to go to a showing sometime and just, just have a good time. Just have a good time. Okay, let's go on to number 12. Number 12, we're taking a little turn here. Number 12. This is our first of many John Hughes films. That's all I'll say. We have Some Kind of Wonderful. Some Kind of Wonderful. Yes, The Natural was a great little film, as was Hoosiers. Yes, very good movies there. So, Some Kind of Wonderful, 1987 is when it came out. It was written by and produced by John Hughes, directed by Howard Deutsch, who also directed Pretty in Pink prior to this. So the story goes that John Hughes, when he wrote Pretty in Pink, and when that film came out, he wasn't happy with the way, studios interfered, and they made him change the ending of Pretty in Pink. It didn't end the way it is in the movie now. It ended differently. So that kind of soured Mr. John Hughes, and so he wanted to kind of have a do-over. So he wrote Some Kind of Wonderful. He changed the layout a little bit, changed the sexes around. So we have Eric Stoltz there in the middle, plays Keith, and he is our main protagonist. And then he's kind of in between these two lovely ladies here. So a little bit different story. And because of what happened with Pretty in Pink, he had a little bit of a falling out with Howard Deutsch. But they kind of made up, and he brought Howie back to direct Some Kind of Wonderful. So, and there was a whole other cast. There was a lot of drama behind the scenes before, Howard took over the directing reins and recast the film as we know it. So, it's a great film. One I don't hear anybody talking about. I love it so much. It's just one of my favorite. I'm not, lovey romantic kind of gal, but this film, I really like the story. I like the drama between everybody. It's just great. It's just great. So, let's see. I don't know if anybody. Oh, a little note here, just kind of for fun, and a little inside joke. John Hughes named Leah Thompson's character Amanda Jones as a little kind of wink and a nod to the Rolling Stones, their song Miss Amanda Jones. So there you go. Some Kind of Wonderful. You guys seen it? Let me know. Let's see. Let me go back. Yes, do that. I would love that. Yes, Soundtracks of Birdman. Do a top 10 video. I would love that. I'd love to hear. If anybody wants to do a reply to this, do it. We would love it. If not, leave them in the comments. That way I can read them too. Let's see. Aaron says he loves the film as much as I love Pretty in Pink. I like this one just a tad more. Yeah. Me too. Hello to Scott. Hello. Let's see. Yes, it was. I think it's a great film. And they're talking a little bit about Lethal Weapon. Let's see. Since you're a Lethal Weapon fan, I met Danny Glover. Not only did he sign my Blu-ray, But we also have a video of us on my channel. Ooh, I'll have to check that out. That's really cool. That's so cool. Awesome, Richard. See? That's why we're friends. I get it. And no, I don't want to see your top 10 adult film video. Oh, that would be interesting. Let's do top 10 most interestingly titled adult films. There you go. Run with that. Yes. Mary Stuart Masterson. Yes. In The Legend of Billie Jean. Great movie as well. That is awesome. Okay. I think I've caught up pretty much. I'm still learning this, all you guys, so bear with me. Okay. Number 10. Number 10. Here we go. Oh, I skipped. Wait, number 11. Sorry. Duh. Gosh, I can't count. Okay. Sorry, you guys. Titanic. So, I mean, what really is there to say about this film that's not already been said? It was at one time the biggest selling movie of all time, but not anymore, obviously. Has it held up over the years? Pretty well. It's a little cheesy, I'll admit that. You know, the whole love story dynamic thing. Cal, especially, can be a little much, I'll admit that. You know, Billy Zane takes his role seriously. But overall, it's a very memorable theater experience. So, I saw this on opening night. Me and some girlfriends from school, we had went to town, and this was, back in the 90s. You couldn't reserve your seats online or anything like that. So we were eating, I remember this, we were eating at Cheddar's restaurant, eating our Cookie Monster, splitting one of those, and one of us, I can't remember who, but we went to the payphone out in the lobby and started dialing all the theaters to see who had tickets available, who still had seats, because this was a big film. And again, opening night. So we finally found tickets on the opposite side of town at the, right before midnight showing. And so we hustled to get across town in time to buy our tickets, get in line, and then we got our seats. And we were on the front row. No joke. Front row for a 3-hour plus movie. Could not do that to this day. My neck would kill me. I'm just too old. But it was just an amazing experience. I remember seeing it a couple more times when it was in its first run. I saw it again, I think, at the cheap theater. And then here just a few years ago, me and my friend went to see it when they released it in 3D, which wasn't very impressive in 3D. There wasn't a lot that was, 3D-ish. But anyway, it's just a great film. It's memorable to me because this was during my senior year in high school. And it's just, it's just always going to hold a special place in my heart. So, let's see. Let's go back. Let's see. Dale said he had a couple John Hughes movies that made my short list, but for some odd reason he hadn't seen Some Kind of Wonderful. Check it out. I think you might like it. Let's see. Mike said he saw Titanic twice at the theaters. My Heart Will Go On. Yes, now that song, I don't need to hear it again. That's one of those songs that has been definitely overplayed. Rob said, I remember watching Titanic in the theater like it was yesterday. Rachel, she's a little critical of it. I got so mad at Titanic. I want to know why, Rachel. Tell me. I want to know. Because I probably will agree with you now. Leo is amazing in anything. Yes, he is. Yeah, he is. Leo could do no wrong back then. He probably still can. So, let's see. Yeah, we all want to know, Rachel, why. Let's see. I saw it in December 97 with an ex-girlfriend. Still have my ticket stub. That's cool. I kept mine too. David's like Cheddar's Cookie Monster. Let's see. Rob was in the back row. That doesn't surprise me. Definitely not for me, but the disaster part was awesome. Granted, I expect no less from James Cameron. Definitely, yeah. The love story, take it or leave it, you know. And again, like I said, I'm not like the biggest love story fan, but it worked for me. It still works for me. So, let's see. Rachel says, the rich girl, poor boy thing was cliche. Hands slapped against the steamed up car window. Yeah. A giggle and painting the rich English guys as the villains, cliched as well. Yeah, I mean, I totally agree with all of that. But, you know, one can dream, right? That, you know, if I was a poor boy, I'd hope that I could land a pretty girl like that, you know. So, and then he got to, you know, deflower her in that car. That's awesome before he, never mind. No spoilers. Oh, gosh. Yes, the music is good. Again, I could kind of take Celine's song, but, you know. Let's see. Mike says they used to call me Leo in 10th grade because they said I looked exactly like him. I'll take that. Oh, okay. Leo was kind of a heartthrob. He still is, you know. He's getting older, though, but, you know. Let's see. What was good, the acting and the special effects and the song. Yes. It still holds up. If you watch it again, it definitely still holds up. Gary likes the movie, and David says good movie, can't stand Celine. Poor Celine, she's had a rough few years. As a poor boy growing up, I was rooting for him in this flick. I totally get that. Yep. I can't draw you, David. Sorry. Has anybody seen Raise the Titanic? Let's talk about that film. Oh, gosh. Yep. Yes. Yes. I've seen the 1953 Titanic film. Yep. It's a good movie, too. It's a good movie. Well, thank you, Rachel. Oh, I got a little heart. So sweet. Okay. Let's move on from Titanic to something more, less dramatic. Oh, gosh. Yes, Raise the Titanic. Let's not and say we did. Okay, that's fine. Fair enough. It's a pretty cheesy movie, too. So, Oh, really? True story. An Asian lady on the subway in New York City when I visited tried to get me to sign an autograph because she thought I was Leo. Very, very cool. There's an actress that people think I look like, but I'll save that for another day. So, yes, A Night to Remember is a great film. That is a wonderful, wonderful film. I love black and white movies. Yes. Well, he should have just went along with it and just wrote his name out and said, you know, you might have made her life. You know. So, okay, let's go on. Number 10. And here I lose some of you, but I don't care. I love Grease too. Okay? Can't help it. I love it. I love it better than the first film. Come for me. Let's discuss. But, of course, Grease 2 was released in 1982. And, of course, it is the sequel based on the 1978 film, you know, Grease, which was based on the musical of the same name. So, of course, Grease did so well. They wanted to capitalize on it. And so, Grease 2. They wanted to get, you know, John Travolta and Olivia Newton-John to come back. Didn't happen. So, we get Grease 2 here. The funny thing about this film is, what I like about it is that it doesn't take itself seriously at all. And I think that's the fun part of it, okay? Not that Grease takes itself too seriously, but I think it's a little bit more serious of a tone of a musical, if that could even be a thing. But Grease 2, it's just fun, you guys. It's fun. It's silly. I love the music. The songs are so infectious. They're just, you know, it's cheese. And sometimes you gotta have cheese, and that's okay. You know what I mean? So it stars Michelle Pfeiffer. This is one of her first roles. She has a nice little voice that she can sing. And Maxwell Caulfield here, not the best singer, but it's just a fun, silly movie. And I really wish more people would give it a shot and quit comparing it to the original film, but just kind of watch it for itself. And again, go into it knowing that it doesn't take itself seriously at all. So, there you go. Grease. Grease 2. Great movie. Okay. See, Al gets it. Big Al gets it. Loves Grease 2 better than the original. There you go. Okay, I'm getting some feedback here. Come on, Beth. Grease, a top 10. Yes, it is. This is my list. So, there you go. Cool Rider. Yeah. Yes, she is. Michelle Pfeiffer is hot. Still, she is hot. Not taking itself seriously. Point for Beth. There you go. Thank you, Rachel. Thank you. Rachel always has my back. You know, we might not agree every time, but we have each other's back. So there you go. Interestingly, I just watched Grease 2 a month ago for the first time on TV. It wasn't that bad, and I agree. It didn't take itself too seriously. There you go. And see, what's Grease 2, there's tons of motorcycles in it. And personally, I like the motorcycles, you know, that bad boy thing. So, Aaron, I'd pick Grease 2, too. Cool Rider is my favorite song from the film. I love Cool Rider. I love Who's That Guy? Let's Do It for Our Country. I mean, is that a more patriotic song? I think not. Okay. All right. Enough said. Enough Grease 2 talk. I hear ya. Birdman the chef says everything is better with a pound of cheese. There you go. I agree. I didn't know there was a novelization of Grease 2. That's cool. Reproduction? Yes. Give it to me now. Okay. All right. We're moving on. You guys crack me up. Thank you guys so much for being here. I know we're just about halfway done. Well, not half, but you know what I mean. But I appreciate everybody watching. So, okay. Let's go on. We're going to go on to number 9. And I cannot wait what you guys are going to say. Again, I'm not a big, I'm not a movie snob. I have an interesting taste in films. I like what I like. And, that's what that is. There we go. Number 9, Rocky 4, man. Rocky 4. Again, this goes back to that whole nostalgia thing. It goes back to spending time. I'm not going to cry. Spending time with my dad. My dad and I were very close. I've lost my dad. My dad passed away in 2018. Oh my God, I didn't think I was going to get upset about Rocky 4. We got more movies to get to, Beth. Okay. But this is one of many movies that just reminds me of spending time with my dad. Okay, little story for you. My dad and I had the same birthday. And at our local video store, during the summer, they had a 7 for 7 deal. So $7, you could rent 7 movies for $7 and keep them for 7 days. Okay? And then on your birthday, you got an extra rental for free. So we would always do the 7 for 7 deal on our birthday week. So then we would get 9 movies for $7 for 7 days. And many of these movies I'm going to talk about here were the movies that we would pick. My dad was a big Stallone fan. He was a big Schwarzenegger fan. He loved all the action heroes. Charles Bronson. Chuck Norris. And I loved spending time with my dad. I mean, that was, because I wasn't, you know, my brothers, they'd go do motorcycles and work on motors and cars and stuff like that, and that's just not me. So my dad and I, we bonded over movies, and this was one of those movies. So, of course, if you're not familiar with Rocky IV, you should know Rocky, the story of Rocky, probably one of the best character stories that is out there. The first film is an all-time classic, you know, just a classic film. It is. But for me, I have a lot of nostalgic memories just for Rocky IV. This is where it started for me in the franchise. Because I am a kid of the 80s, a teen of the 90s. I grew up watching this movie with my dad. You know, we loved it. He loved the action. He loved the fight sequences of the Rocky films. I love the music in this film so much. The training montages. All the montages in Rocky IV. I mean, the film's mostly montages, and I love that about it. So yeah, that's kind of why it's you know, most people wouldn't put Rocky IV this high up on their list. I know that. But to me, it's very special to me because it reminds me so much of a happy time. You know, and a lot of times we have to go back to stuff like that, you know, like you have a sad day and you want to just relive fond memories, and that's why we put in movies. Okay, I'm done. Okay. I didn't think I'd get so upset. Oh my gosh. Let me go back and read a few comments here. Adrian! Yeah. Rob says, I like all the Rocky movies if I was 10 years old. Yeah. You have a lot, you have a better taste in films than I do, I guess. I would break you, Ivan Drago. There's some Rocky drama going on right now in the world. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate that. I'm gonna get even more emotional as we go on. I just know it. So thank you guys. Thank you. Big Al says my film philosophy too. Love what you love and watch what you want. Definitely. Yep. I think this is the one I don't remember too well. Was Drago right? And 3 was Mr. T. Yes, you got it. Bless you, Beth. Your love. I can't read that, or I will cry. Thank you, Rachel. Woo. Rocky IV taught us every movie's better with a montage. Montage. Yes, sir. Stallone kind of did piss me off, though, because, as David said, did you ever see the reimagining? I'm thinking he meant the new cut of the film. Is that what you mean? Yes, I did, and I didn't like it. He took out the robot. That made me mad. That's a no-go for me. Polly's robot stays. Period. Mike says, Rocky IV is big in my family. We are an athletic family, and I have 2 brothers, so I get it. I am a Stallone fan. Yes. Hell yeah. Stallone is the man. He was an underdog. Mm-hmm. Thank you. Thank you, Mike. Yes, we do. You guys are awesome. As I said, I hated it, Daniel. I didn't like it at all. I could pull up my letterbox and read what I wrote if you want to really... You know what? Let me pause here, and I will read it to you. Hold on, let me find it. If you really want to know what I thought. Let me find it on my letterbox. My letterbox is always linked on my page if you want to... if you want to find it and follow me there. Rocky IV. Let me see if I can find it. Sorry, you guys. Pause just a second. Let's see. I don't know that I logged it. Huh. I thought I did. I guess I didn't log it. Shoot. I thought I logged the new cut of the film. Let me see if it's... Nope, it's not on here. I wonder why they never put it on there. I didn't care for it, Daniel. There you go. Hi, Jenny. How are you, Jenny? Were your ears burning earlier? I made a video for you earlier. And we have Print Fink, loved Rocky 4. Awesome. Awesome. Thank you. Another mic. I think we got like 4 mics here. So, everybody seems to like Rocky 4. Awesome. Glad I'm not alone. That's exactly right, Richard. I think a lot of us watched movies like Rocky with our dads. Great times. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. Oh, cool. Print Fink. If you have a real name, let me know it, because I'd like to call you by your name. I put the 35mm print together at the theater I worked at. Very, very cool. Awesome. I'm trying to catch up on the comments. Whoa, we're way down here. Sorry. Geez. Okay. Sorry, you guys. I'm slow. Daniel says, I agree, Beth, that it's not as good as the original, but I have to say it did afford me the opportunity to go to a real Regal cinema near me. Oh, cool. That's neat. I would love to see it on this big screen. Yes. I thought about buying tickets to that too, Daniel, but I'm kind of glad I didn't, because I probably would have left mad. Let's see. Killer soundtrack. Yes. Hell yeah. Oh, David. Ah, Dave. Hi, Dave. Yes. Okay. I thought that name sounded familiar. Jeez. Okay. I apologize, Dave. Apologize. Welcome. Welcome. Okay. Let's go on. We're done with Rocky 4. I think we're all caught up. And let's go on to number 8. I'll get you back with this one, you guys. I think some of you naysayers who don't like my taste will come back around, I hope. Number 8. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. One of the best comedy films ever made. Ever written, ever acted. Just, oh my gosh, this movie means so much to me. Geez. 1987, written, directed by John Hughes. This was his kind of another foray out of the teen genre into more adult-themed films. Of course, we have Steve Martin and the late, great, terribly missed John Candy. Oh my gosh. This film, we watch it every year. We watch it on Thanksgiving every year. My family and I do. It has so much comedy, yes, but heart. And oh my gosh, I cry every time this movie ends. I'm a softie, you guys. I am. I cry at the end of this movie every damn time. Every time it ends on that kind of freeze frame, of John Candy, I just, I cry. But this movie, it was shot in, I think it was shot up in kind of, in New York area. And I know they shot a little bit in Chicago, and then they did come down to St. Louis to Lambert Airport, shot there. Also in Illinois, they shot part of it there. The hotel scene was shot in Illinois, and they kind of just traveled around according to some making of documentaries I've watched. But it's a story about, 2 unlikely friends that meet up and kind of travel together, and the turmoil of 2 opposite men together makes for one hell of a funny, heartwarming comedy film. So if you've never seen Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, you have to check it out. I'd be hard pressed to say that I'm sure there's somebody out there that doesn't like it, but I'd be hard pressed to meet someone that hates this movie. Most people love it. So, to me, it's not like some of the holiday films. Sometimes it gets lumped into the holiday films, and those can be overplayed. But this movie, every time I watch it, I see something different. I see something new, and it just warms the heart, man. Warms the heart. Let's see. Let me go back a little bit. You know, Mike, I think there's over a 3-hour cut of the film that John Hughes did. Now, whether or not we'll ever see that, I don't know. Hopefully, someday. I would love to see it. But one can hope, right? So, yes. Del Griffith is wonderful, and John Candy should have been nominated for an Oscar. Oh, cool. Michael says, Beth, I recently met Kevin Bacon, and he autographed my DVD cover of Planes, Trains. Ah, love that. I love that little cameo at the beginning because John Hughes had just completed She's Having a Baby with him and just, called him out, hey, Kev, can you do me this favor? And Kevin's like, yeah, man, I'll do anything for you. That was my Kevin Bacon impersonation. You're welcome. Awesome. Awesome. I'm not alone. Emotion. Yes. Mm-hmm. You're going the wrong way. Oh, gosh. Well, Dave, I hope go back and start at the beginning and report back to me and let me know if you agree with me or not. How could you not love Planes, Trains, and Automobiles? So hilarious and enjoyable with such a talented cast. Definitely. Yeah. Oh, I love that scene. Yes, when they're walking home with the suitcase. I love that. I love that vantage point of how they shoot that. Yep. Rachel says, to show emotion as you do is a great gift, Beth. It will open people's hearts up to you. Thank you. I know I don't show my face. People can get over that or not. But, I'm just who I am. You know what I mean? So, and a lot of these movies just mean so much to me for really personal reasons that we'll get into. So, oh, I love that scene. I like me. My wife likes me. Oh, yeah. That scene is like, that scene cuts me up so bad. Yeah. Such a good scene. Oh my gosh. Yep. You can say what you want about me. Yep. My customers like me. My wife likes me. Yep. There you go. Let's see. Uncle Buck is a good one too. Gotta love Uncle Buck. Again, it's got that freeze frame at the end that will just break your heart. She's Having a Baby does have an excellent. I have that soundtrack, Jenny. Mm-hmm. I have the what's Women's Work? By Kate Bush. Kate Bush is on it. Everybody loves Kate Bush now. Oh, I miss John Candy too. We need John Candy back. Yep. Oh, definitely. John Candy will always be one of the best gifts to TV and cinema. His work on SCTV is excellent. I agree. Yep. There you go. Yes, and yes. Okay. Oh, my goodness. All right. We're going to 7. Let's go to 7, guys. Again, this movie means a lot to me for the reasons I've listed before, and for other reasons, but this is over the top. So, it's a little pixelated, sorry about that, but this again goes back to spending time with my dad. He loved Stallone. And this film, it's not, I tell everybody, they want to poo-poo on over the top. It's not just about arm wrestling. Okay? There's a story in this film. There's a redeeming story. There's a man he's trying to better his life. He's trying to win back his son. He's just been estranged from his son. And he's wanting to finally bond with his son and create a life together. Create a life for, he wants to be in his son's life. And, the arm wrestling is just a little part of the story. Okay? Again, it's, some people would say it's cheesy, but for me, it works. I love this film so much. Again, it just reminds me of spending time with my dad. I love the music, the Meet Me Halfway. I mean, I love that song so much, by Kenny Loggins, the king of the 80s soundtrack. yeah, I don't know really what else to tell you guys about it. This again was a Canon film, Canon Group film. Music was produced and oversaw by Giorgio Moroder, famous music producer. And I mean, the soundtrack is killer. If you come across the soundtrack ever, pick it up. Just great music, front to back. Again, Kenny Loggins, Asia's on there, Larry Green, crap, what was his name? I can't think of his name. Oh, I can't think of it right now. But I'm not selling it very well. It's just one of my favorite films, you guys. One of my favorites. Let's see what you have to say. Let's see, Michael's. There's most of from the 80s, obviously, but there are some from other decades. We've touched into the 90s and into the 70s. So, yep. Over the top. Yep, there you go. Hobbs, he knows. Hobbs gets it. Legendary, underrated film. Don't shit on this one, folks. It's okay, Rob. We don't have to agree on everything. I could kick you out if I wanted to, but I'm not doing that. But see, that's true. The world meets no one halfway. It is true. He says that in the film. The world meets nobody halfway. If you want it, you got to take it. That is true. That's a true little sentiment there. So, and Mike says it's also about teaching his son that life doesn't meet you halfway. Exactly. If you want something, you have to go after it. Amen. Amen. That is true. Oh, gosh. Lincoln Hawk was the man. Heck yeah. Yeah. Sorry, I shouldn't cuss. My mom's watching me from heaven and shaming me. That is not ladylike. What are you doing? There you go. Sammy Hagar, Eddie Money, and what's his name? Guy from is it from Cheap Trick? I'd have to look it up, you guys. I'm sorry, I'm not prepared. Robin Zander. Yeah, Robin Zander. Is he from Cheap Trick? He does In This Country. Great song. Great song. Cobra didn't make my list, but I do love Cobra. I do love that movie a lot. Great film. Cobra, what was I trying to say? Beverly Hills Cop was kind of, the precursor to Cobra. I think something like that, right? Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, I know, Emma. I know. I told her that one time. Emma, 8 Vinyl Low is Emma, and she loves Cheap Trick. That's her favorite band. And I remember commenting on something like, "Hey, you need to pick up the soundtrack to Over the Top because it has a Robin Zander song in it." I don't know that she ever did though. Cody's here. Hey, Cody, how are you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Okay, let's keep going. Oh my gosh, I'm at an hour. Sorry, you guys. Whew. I didn't mean to. I thought I'd be done in an hour, but we got a little bit more to go. So, hope you don't mind. But I appreciate everybody that has stuck with this so far. So, let's go on to number 6. And this is our last John Hughes entry. I'll say that much. I'll give you a little teaser there. So, yes. Let me stop here real fast. Michael says Stallone was supposed to play Axel Foley, but rewrote the script and Paramount didn't like it. Yes, he wrote it, wanted it darker, right? So he wrote it, and that would become the movie Cobra. There you go. It was something like that. I remembered there was some story like that. So Cody's been on vacation at the lake, and he's back. Jealous of that. Awesome. Okay, well, as long as my internet holds out, I can keep talking. So let me just get a sip of water, and then we'll go on to number 6. Okay. Number 6 for me is, again, last John Hughes film, and it is The Breakfast Club. So, The reason why I like this film so much is because, like, I think every one of us can kind of... Oh, whoop, ah! Don't look at that. That was a spoiler. I didn't mean to click that. Sorry, you guys. Breakfast Club. The reason why I picked this film and why it's so high up on my list, and the reason why I love it so much, is because I think we all can kind of relate to it. I think every single character here, we can relate to the struggles that they have in this story. The struggles that they have in school, in life, with parents. I think everybody can relate to that. I think we can relate to not fitting in or wanting to be like everyone else, or doing what our friends think we should do, falling into that trap, you know, peer pressure, all these things that happen to these kids on this Saturday in detention. I think it happened to most of us at some point in our life, you know, not wanting to disappoint our parents, you know, trying to fit in and maybe not, you know, authentic to ourselves, even into adulthood. You know, I think that's true. So, you know, John Hughes wrote this film, came out in 1985. Let me see. What was I going to tell you about this? Hold on just a second. There's something here. Oh yeah, this was interesting. I wrote this down. He shot this with a $1 million budget, and it made $51 million. And the studio, they were not really, what's the word? They were not really sure if he could direct the film. They were not, what am I trying to say? You know, he had just done 16 Candles. That was the only film he had directed up to that point. So he hadn't really got his footing yet as a director. And they weren't really sure he could do it. But he kind of promised them that he was going to keep it really simple, keep it in one room, and, you know, I guess made it less of a risk for the studios and the money holders. So they let him do it. And, I mean, it became this, you know, seminal film of the 1980s, of teenhood. And I really do think that the themes hold up to this day. So, you know, and I don't want this movie remade. I know that there's talk of that, but I don't think this film needs to be remade. So it's a good standalone film, and it's one of my favorites. Can you describe the ruckus? I love that. Oh, gosh. Let's see. Okay. I'm 100% Judd Nelson's character more often than others. I can understand that. Yep. I can get that. That's true. See? The screws fall out all the time. The world is an imperfect place. No truer words. No truer words, Jenny. Whew. No top 10 is complete without the Breakfast Club. Amen. Amen. Oh, gosh. Awesome. That's great. Yes. Oh, cool. We are doing a rewatch of The Breakfast Club on Saturday night on Netter's Network. I will have to check that out. I would love to sit and chat about The Breakfast Club. That would be fun. The Breakfast Club is near and dear to my heart. Of course, the song Don't You Forget About Me is my second favorite song of all time. Awesome. I love that song. That's a song, that's, you know, I would put that in the category of songs that are heard a lot that you're not tired of. I can listen to that song all the time, and I never get tired of it. It's sort of social, demented and sad, but social. Awesome. Awesome. You guys like The Breakfast Club. That is cool. This might be corny, but as a kid, I'd pack a lunch for Saturday morning and wake up and watch this movie and eat my lunch when they did. Did you make the sandwich out of white bread, sugar, and Captain Crunch? I need to know. I need to know. Sorry, no Bueller. Sorry. I love Ferris. Don't get me wrong, Jenny, but Ferris, I don't know. Anymore, I better not say what I'm not saying anything. I don't want to make anybody mad. So, I'll save that for another time. Let's see. And Mike says, and it's going to sound weird, but in high school I was like a blend of both Judd Nelson's character and Emilio Estevez's character. I was athletic, but kind of a rebel at the same. I can get that. Yeah, I can get that. Don't mess with the bull, young man. You'll get the horns. I say that all the time. I say that line a lot. There's some language. Yes. It's just for the language. So, yep. Because by that time, I think they brought out the PG-13 rating. And so I guess you could only have so many F-bombs till it got kicked up to R. No tough turf. Sorry. No tough turf. Don't you love how actors can play multiple ages and look the same? In The Breakfast Club, they were seniors the same year. In St. Elmo's Fire, they were graduating college. Yes. Yep. That's true. I love St. Elmo's Fire. Again, I don't see why that movie gets so much hate. Yep. Oh, gosh. Did Tough Turf ever make it to DVD? I don't know. Don't know. That's a good movie, too. It's a good movie as well. Okay. Breakfast Club. Awesome. Number 5, guys. And I spoiled it earlier. But it is Halloween. Gotta go with some more horror. We're down to the top 5, guys. Top 5. So, Halloween. Of course, John Carpenter's Halloween. 1978. Written by John Carpenter and Deborah Hill. He made this film on a $300,000-ish budget. Was it $320,000, I think, exactly? And, I mean, this film at one time was the top-grossing independent film of all time. I think until... Was it till My Big Fat Greek Wedding knocked it out of that spot? Of course, everybody, if you're a horror fan, you know about this film. Michael Myers, of course, stalks the babysitters. It's beautifully shot the way he did it on such a, minuscule budget. What he was able to accomplish with that little amount of money was just mind-boggling. I mean, it's such a simple film and a simple premise, but there's so much tension. There's no blood, like barely any blood. But what we make in our own minds make it so scary. And the music, I mean, can we even talk about the music? The music that he created for the film just adds that whole other layer of suspense and tension. And it's just so off-putting. And, it created, now it wasn't the first of the quote-unquote slasher genre, but it really kind of jump-started to what we would get in the 80s, if you ask me. So, David's funny. He says, can you imagine if they grabbed a Spock mask? Yes. So the mask for Michael Myers, everybody knows this, but it was made from a William Shatner Star Trek mask. So that would be funny. If could you imagine him with those ears? Oh gosh, I just love this movie so much. I would recommend going to see it on the big screen because you'll hear so much more than watching it at home. I mean, yeah, you probably have really good surround sound and have the 4Ks and all that kind of stuff, but if you ever go see it in the theater, you'll just start to hear so many more tiny little nuances that you've never picked up on before, or you'll see more in the screen, or see him lurking where you may not have seen him before. Oh, it's such a good film. Oh my gosh. Let's see. I think I wrote down a few little notes, but I don't know if I think you guys pretty much know everything about Halloween, probably more than I do. Everybody knows Halloween. Does everybody like Halloween? Ugh, there we go. Oh, like mines. Nice. Awesome. Oh, you only recently watched it for the first time. What did you think of it? Aaron says he watches it every year on Halloween. Yes, we do the same. I think everybody A lot of people do that. Scott says, hell yeah, easily my favorite horror movie. It's also my number 5, never gets old and still holds up. Yes. Halloween 78 Rules, beautifully shot, is the perfect way to describe it. You just described it perfectly, Beth. Well, thank you. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate that. I'm trying, man. I'm trying. Sometimes I jumble up my words. Same with me, Mike. Michael Myers, hands down my favorite slasher villain. And if it wasn't for this, we wouldn't have all the other films we have, you know. But they all go back here. Now, I do know some people don't think that this is the best one of the franchise, and that's fine. But it's up there at the top. Oh, okay. Just noticed most of the people on Breakfast Club, with the exception of Judd Nelson, were all in Stephen King movies and TV shows. Yes, you're right. You're probably right there. Yeah, never thought about that. What was Let's see. I have to think on that. That's a good little thought there. Music was perfect. Yes, totally. Yep. Oh, did you see them back to back? 2018 and Halloween Kills at the theater. Don't get me started on Halloween Kills. Sorry. Yeah. Dave, you know, I like Danielle Harris a lot. I really do. Have you listened to her podcast? If not, let me know and I will talk more about that. But she's got a great podcast that she does with Scout Taylor Compton. And I highly recommend it. She's so pretty. Oh my gosh, I love Danielle Harris. She's so cute too. I'd be tall compared to her. So I'd love to meet her. I'd feel like a giant. That's okay. Not a horror fanatic anymore. That's all right. That's all right. Some people, you outgrow things. Your tastes change. That's all right. Mike says his is 2018 is his second favorite in the franchise. Yep, as is David's. Nice. How was meeting Tony Moran? People kind of crapping all over him lately for things he says. Oh, yeah, see, David, we were right on the money there. Yep. Yep. Yeah, he kind of talked out of his ass, if you ask me. Oh, wow. Yeah. She's tiny. I'm 6'1". Yeah, I'm like 5'2.5", and I think she's shorter than I am, so. Yeah, Dave, it's called Talk Scary to Me. Talk Scary to Me. They do a lot of, how shall I put this? Not only do they talk about horror, but they talk about love and sex and true crime. There you go. So it's a great podcast if you are open to those kind of topics. So. Oh, that is, yes. I think I remember you doing that. I think I remember that. Yes, that's cool. Have to look that back up, you guys. Go to Hops Horror and look up their interview. Yes, I think yes, I think that's right, Michael. I think she was in the Last Boy Scout. Yes, I think so. Was it? Yes, pretty sure you're right. Okay. Scott says he's met him like 15 years ago, so I think he's gotten a little grouchier in his older age. Yeah. I listened to that episode, Hobbs. That was a great episode. I love Corey Feldman. I do. I've been a champion of his for a long time. So she's 4'11". Yes, I'd be like a few inches taller than her. Okay, so that's our Halloween talk. All right, let's go on to number 4. Let me turn that off. Number 4, again, childhood favorite of mine. That's all I'm going to say. Childhood favorite. That's And so we are going to the Neverending Story. So let me preface this by saying this is for the United States version of the film. My friend Neil sent me the German version of the film, but I have yet to download it and watch it. So I'm just basing this on what I have seen, what I grew up watching here in the United States, in the Midwest. So the Neverending Story was a film co-written and directed by Wolfgang Petersen. And this was his first English language film, and based on the 1979 novel called The Neverending Story by Michael Ende, I think is maybe how you pronounce it. Forgive me if I said that wrong. It stars Noah Hathaway as Atreyu, Barrett Oliver as Bastian, and Tammy Stronach as the childlike empress, as you see on the screen there. And at the time of this release, it was the most expensive film ever produced outside the United States or the Soviet Union. And this film was the first in a series of films based upon the Neverending Story. So this movie takes I think only the first half of the book and is adapted to the movie that we know. The U.S. version uses music more by Giorgio Moroder than what the German version has. That was scored more by what was his name? Klaus Dollinger, I believe. So that's what I'm familiar with. Of course, the Neverending Story by Limahl was the theme song for this version of the film. The reason why I love this film so much is, again, going back to, hearkening back to my childhood, but I've always been a fan of these kind of fantasy type films. I've always liked reading and using my imagination and going into the story. So in this movie, you have Bastian, and he's reading this book, The Neverending Story, and the story basically comes to life. And I've just always been fascinated with that. I love Falkor, the little dragon there at the bottom. And I always use one of his quotes. He says, "Never give up and good luck will find you." And I think that's true. I think that resonates to this day. That, don't give up. You never know what's around the next corner. You don't know. And, yeah, so there you go. That is the Neverending Story. And I still love it to this day. I took my daughter and my little cousins, to see it a few years ago at the theater, and and they had never seen it before. My two younger cousins had never seen it, and they were just enthralled with the film. They loved it so much. So I think it's a timeless classic. The little animals and all the little figures, it works. It works for me. I just, maybe I'm a kid at heart, and hopefully I'll always be a kid at heart. Growing up's for the birds, man. So let me see what you guys have to say. Let's see. Oh, okay. That's all right. We can agree to disagree there. That's all right. I think it holds up well, but that's like your opinion, man, right? What movie's that from? Yes, they look like big, good, strong hands, don't they? I always thought that's what they were. I'm not good at impressions, but I get that. I am a Midwest girl. Yep. If you can guess what state I'm from, bonus points for you. Golf clap. I love Falkor, the luck dragon. I've always wanted one of those. We enjoyed it as adults when it first came out, but when our son was born and old enough to appreciate it, he loved it too. Awesome. #Limahl. Yes. Love Limahl. I just love that song so much. Rob says, I watched The Neverending at the theater when it first came out. It was the first film I watched at the theater. The flying dog actually scared me. Okay. That surprised me that he would scare you. I would think that another scene from the film might scare you more. It scared me a lot. I won't say what that scene is because I don't want to ruin it for anybody, but JJ says, this movie actually passed my movie radar, and I did not watch until my daughter wanted to watch it after seeing Stranger Things. There you go. Yes. Did she like the movie? Let me know, JJ. I'd like to know that. Mike says, I love the Neverending Story song. I'm 46 years old, and I still love this movie and song. Buddy, I'm right there with you. I'm 42, and I love it to death. So, Richard says, Neverending Story connects so well with just losing yourself into a fantasy world. I mean, I would love it. Yes, you could post them in the comments, or if you want to wait and post it when the video goes live, that would be. If you want to post them here in the chat, I'll read it when we get to it too. That'd be great. Yes, Aaron, they don't make films like this anymore. Adulting is highly overrated. Yep. Yes, 80 studios let people make the most imaginative films. That time was special, and it was. Yes, you got it. Good job. Good job. Yes, always keep the sense of childlike wonder. Oh, yes. I know, Cody. I know. Yep. Poor Rockbiter. Oh my gosh, you guys are guessing where I'm from. Dusty Buns. Sing it, Dusty Bun. Turn around. Look at what you see. I like how he's off pitch a little bit in that scene in Stranger Things. Nobody's gotten where I'm from yet. I'll just say that much. I'm not even gonna click on your comment, Rob, because you know where I live. Yes, they look like good, strong hands. So, but there's one scene that everybody will talk about that is so traumatic in this film. I don't want to mention it just in case you haven't seen the film, but there is definitely one scene that happens that has scarred many an 80s child, even to adulthood. And if you've seen the movie, you know which one I'm talking about. So, all right. Let's go to number 3, you guys. Number 3. Okay. We're going to go back to John Carpenter. I'm going to tease it that way. Okay. What state are you from? I think you said, didn't you? Did he say earlier? Let me go back up. Nope, you just said I'm a mid. Yeah. Okay. We don't know. Okay, number 3. This has been fun, you guys. I've really been having a blast talking to you guys. Number 3 is Christine. Yes. Oh my gosh. Again, I love this movie so much. John Carpenter directed this film in 1983. It is, of course, based upon the Stephen King novel, same title, Christine. Oh my gosh, I remember watching this movie so much growing up. It's one of those films, I would put it into kind of gateway horror, because there's not a lot of blood and gore. There's a lot of suspense, but there's nothing really too graphic or too scary per se. Again, since it is John Carpenter, beautifully shot film. The special effects are out of this world, and they're all practical. The way the car, spoiler, regenerates itself, I mean, it stands up to this day. It just looks fantastic. John Carpenter, again, did the score to the film. It's one of my favorite scores. I love the music to this film that they used. The way Christine kind of talks is through the music that she plays on the car. So you have a lot of those kind of classic, kind of late 50s kind of era rock and roll songs, Buddy Holly, those kind of songs. But the score is just, chef's kiss good. The acting is superb in this. You have Keith Gordon, who plays Arnie, the main character. John Stockwell is his buddy. And then you have Alexandra Paul as his love interest in the film. Robert Prosky is in the film as well. Harry Dean Stanton, rest in peace. Roberts Blossom, rest in peace. Just a great film. Great little story, about this car that this boy falls in love with the car, and the car possesses him. So that's kind of Christine in a nutshell. It's a little bit different, a lot different than the source material in some degree. I've always been championing for a prequel. Everybody wants to do sequels and this stupid requel, which I hate that term. Hate it. But me, I would like a prequel because there's a whole story there before Arnie gets Christine. In the movie, he drives up and Christine's sitting in a, junky rundown yard, and he buys her off of LeBay's brother. In the book, LeBay is the character. He is the first owner of Christine. I want to hear his story, how he got her, and his descent into madness because of her. That's a movie right there, man. We just need money to fund it and make it. It would be a great little fan film. If someone had a car we could borrow, and we could make that story come to life. So, great little film. Great horror film. Again, kind of a gateway horror film, I think. So, let me see what you guys have to say. And I talked way too long, and I've got to go way back up. Everybody loves the movie. Let's see. Is this your favorite Stephen King adaptation? No. We have 2 more films to go through. That's all I'm going to say, Michael. Christine is great. Best scene is when she's sitting under the overpass waiting on Moochie. Yes, I love that. Love that scene. Great scene. It doesn't get the praise it deserves. I agree with you, David. Yep. Yes, I do too. Yes, wish they kept more of LeBay's storyline. Yes, I believe that. It's okay. I'm not going to block you, Rob. You better watch what you say about my car. She's real sensitive. I love that line in the movie about, the smells, the greatest smell in the world. That's all I'll say. Okay, yeah, Aaron says, love the movie. It's on Netflix right now, so go watch it. There you go, guys. It's his favorite John Carpenter film. Love the score and the rock and roll songs from Christine Stereo. Yes. Death to Moochie. Yes. Love that. Yes, you are right, Mike. I believe they reversed video of the car getting smashed to make it look like it did. Yes. So they shot it in reverse. And they reversed the film. They reversed the film to make it look like she was regenerating herself. So cool. So neat. Yeah. Yes, I call him the poor man's John Travolta. Keith Gordon, he's so good. He's so underrated. I know he doesn't act anymore. I think he directs now. He's so underrated. Yep. Yes, Buddy Repperton, the way he dies, the gas station explosion, and then, spoiler, but Christine comes out of the explosion and she's all in flames and she's chasing him down the road. Oh, so good. So good. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I think a prequel would work. Definitely. I'm in love with my car. That would have been good. Yeah, they probably couldn't afford the rights to that song, though. Love Queen, but I bet they couldn't have got that. Yeah, I've seen the Steelbook cover. I don't mind it, but I understand why people don't like it. I bet they'll bring out another one, probably for the 40th anniversary or something. So, Cody agrees. Yep. I don't know. I don't know if he was in anything else, but he just reminds me of John Travolta from Welcome Back, Kotter in that scene, He's so... God, I love that teacher stands up to him. Like, nowadays, the teachers wouldn't do that, The kids could say whatever they want to him. and they get away with it. So, yeah, that's awesome. You guys love Christine too. I love that. That's great. It's finally finding an audience, I think, thanks to the internet. One good thing from the internet. Okay, 2 more to go, you guys. 2 more to go. Thank you all for being here. We're gone an hour and a half. I appreciate all of you so much. Thank you guys so much. Number 2, The Terminator. Again, such a great film. Oh my gosh. The Terminator, again, 1984. It was directed by James Cameron, starring, of course, Arnold Schwarzenegger as the Terminator himself. And you have Linda Hamilton as Sarah Connor, and also Michael Biehn as Kyle Reese, the man sent back from the future to help rescue her from the Terminator. The screenplay is credited to Cameron and producer Gail Ann Hurd, while co-writer William Wisher received an additional dialogue credit. Cameron stated he devised the premise of the film from a fever dream he experienced during the release of his first film, Piranha 2, in Rome, and developed the concept in collaboration with William Wisher. He sold the rights to the project to fellow New World Pictures alumni Hurd on the condition that she would produce the film only if he was able to direct it. And on it goes. So, the reason why I love this film so much, again, harkens back to spending time with my dad. Arnie was one of his favorite actors. And, you know, Arnold Schwarzenegger films, we watch those a lot as well. So, but the reason why I put it so high is that I love the love story in the film. Again, like I said, I'm not a big, romance kind of girl, but the love story between Kyle and Sarah in this film, it's such a great love story. Him going back through time to save her, and he tells her, I traveled across time for you, that he's always loved her. It's so good. It's so good, and just the action in the film, it's so well made for its time. Sure, it shows its age, but it's all practically done, and it's done very, very well. Love all the miniatures. The score by Brad Fiedel is so good. It's just a classic film, just a classic. And I know Terminator 2 kind of, for some people, it is the superior film. But for me, I've always just had a affinity for the original Terminator. And it's always going to be one of my favorite films of all time. I can watch this anytime. I don't have to be in a mood for it. It's just always going to be one of those films that I'm going to gravitate towards. So, let me see what you guys have to say. Oh, gosh. My back hurts. Thank you, Cody. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I'll be back. Yes. I'm looking for Sarah Connor. See, Aaron? We're right there together, buddy. Yes, I think so too. Terminator 2 is great. Don't get me wrong. I love it. But, I still think the first one is the better film. Cody, you're funny. Oh, gosh. Yes, JJ says, great film, so ahead of its time. Michael Biehn was the best. I remember watching this when I was like 11 or 12 over and over again. Awesome. The Terminator, Mike says, the Terminator actually scares me. Don't get me wrong. It's great, but interestingly, it is kind of a horror action movie. Yeah, there's a lot of horror in Terminator. Definitely. He is like he's a stalker. I mean, he's no different than Michael Myers or Jason stalking his prey. I know Arnie said he played it kind of like a shark. One of the making ofs said he played it like a shark, you know, where his eyes will move and then his head moves. And I thought that was really interesting to kind of play that role that way. Richard says, I agree the story is told a bit better in T1, but I'm yet to have a better cinema experience than T2. Yeah. T2, I saw T2, I told this story before, but I saw T2 opening night in the theater. My cousin that I've mentioned before, she had a job at the local, let me take a drink. Sorry, you guys. She had a job at the local theater. And back then, and I guess you can still today, maybe, I bet they make it harder, but, you know, you could sneak in. And so she snuck me and my cousin in to see Terminator 2 opening night. So that still is one of the best theater experiences I've ever had. So, let's see. Michael says, I met Michael Biehn, Lance Hendrickson, and Rick Rossovich. Yeah, okay, yes. They all signed my DVD cover of Terminator. It's on my Sci-Fi Autographs video on my channel. I'll have to check that out. That is really cool. And wasn't he, Rick Rossovich, wasn't he in Top Gun? Is he Slider? Is that right? I think I'm right. Yes, it can't be bargained with, it can't be reasoned with, it doesn't feel pity or remorse or fear, and it absolutely will not stop ever until you are dead. I love that. Like the coronavirus. We don't say that. Get my stream taken down if you say the bad word. Your Vicar of Vinyl. The original Terminator was stupendous, no doubt. Loved it at the time and still do. Awesome. Okay, we can agree to disagree. What? David? I know, you're just kidding, but come on. I thought you were going to say Terminator Dark Fate. Do you want me to really come at you about Terminator Dark Fate next? It was, yes. Terminator 1 is scary. Terminator 2, not so much, in my opinion. So, oh, excuse me. Let's see what the chat says on that question. Do you like Michael Biehn better as Kyle Reese or Corporal Dwayne Hicks? Yeah. I was right. He was in Top Gun. Thank you very much. JJ says, oh, yes, they still do it today, Beth. My good friend has worked for the local movie chain here since 1995 and gets me in for free all the time. They're awesome. That's cool. That's really cool. Let's see what everybody thinks. You know me too well, Cody. Oh, gosh. Everybody's saying Hicks. Well, Reese, let's see. Al says Reese is better than Hicks. And Scott says Hicks. And Richard says Hicks. So, probably Hicks for the win. Hicks for the win. So, okay, you guys, let's go to number 1. My voice has about had it. So, those of you that know me will know the answer to this. Johnny Ringo. David's drumming for me. So, I wish we could play music, but we can't. So, okay, number 1. Sentimental favorite. Yes, you're right, Scott. Scott is right. Okay. I wrote a lot of stuff down about Stand By Me, so forgive me. Got a book. You win, Scott. If I could... I'm giving you a golf clap, buddy. Giving you a golf clap. So, there you go. Congratulations. Gosh. To put into words why and the reason why I love this movie. No. I said For Christine was another Carpenter film. I think, who knows what I said, David? You know me. I can mess up my words. So, Stand By Me, of course, came out in 1986. It was directed by Rob Reiner. again, based upon a Stephen King property. It's based upon the novella called The Body, which is in his book called Different Seasons. Rob Reiner was not originally tapped to direct this film. I learned this just today. I didn't even know this. So let me read this to you guys, if you don't mind. The film was adapted from the Stephen King novella The Body, as I said. Bruce A. Evans sent a copy of The Body to Karen Gideon, the wife of his friend and writing partner, in 1983, as a gift for her birthday. Both Gideon and Evans quickly became fans of the novella and shortly thereafter contacted King's agent, seeking to negotiate film rights. Macaulay replied that King's terms were, get this is what King wanted, $100,000 and 10% of the gross profits. Although the money was not an issue, the share of the gross profits was considered excessive at the time, especially considering that no stars could be featured to help sell the movie. So, in response, they pursued an established director to help sell the project. Well, that fell through. So, they pawned it off to a couple different studios, passed on it, It went around a little bit, okay? So, finally, they settled upon Embassy. Embassy Pictures spent 4 months negotiating the rights, settling on $50,000 and a smaller share of the profits. And Evans and Gideon spent 8 weeks writing the screenplay. They were asked to also produce the film, but she suggested they team up with Andy Scheinman, a more experienced producer. Embassy was unwilling to meet their salary for directing the film until Evans and Gideon agreed to give up half of their share of profits to meet the asking price. So, flash forward, they had a director lined up. That fell through. So, Rob Reiner was named. Rob Reiner was better known at the time for playing Michael Stivic in the All in the Family, and had just started a directing career making comedies like This Is Spinal Tap and The Sure Thing. He was sent the script by Scheinman, and his initial reaction was the script had promise, but, quote, no focus. After the first director withdrew from the project, Reiner signed on to direct in '84. And this is what he said in a 2011 interview. In the book, it was about 4 boys. But once I made Gordy the central focus of the piece, then it made sense to me. This movie was all about a kid who didn't feel good about himself and whose father didn't love him. And through the experience of going to find the dead body and his friendship with these boys, he began to feel empowered and went on to become a very successful writer. He basically became Stephen King. So Reiner has said that he identified with Gordy, as himself struggled with the shadow of fame cast by his comedian father, Carl Reiner. So, that being said, the reason why I love this film so much is, again, kind of going back to kind of like The Breakfast Club. All 4 of these boys, of these characters, I personally can relate to the struggles that they each have and have in this story. And I think a lot of people can. You know, Gordy, his brother dies suddenly in the story. And he says he feels like that he's this lonely child, His parents could really care less about him. They cared more about his brother than him. So he's just like this invisible boy. And he longs for the love of his parents and the love of his father, and I really can relate to that. I love my dad dearly. I didn't have the greatest relationship with my mom, and that's one thing that always bothered me. We were never super close, and so I definitely can relate to that. Chris comes from a bad family. Chris comes from a family that has a bad name, a bad reputation in their town. Everybody thinks he's going to end up bad, and he believes it too, and he can be whatever he wants to be, right? We all can. And our past and our family name don't mean shit. You know, you can be what you want to be. And that's his story. And one part of the story is, you know, he's in the movie, he talks about, you know, he stole the milk money. And he says, you know, maybe I tried to give it back. Maybe he went to the teacher and gave it back and turned himself in. And that teacher ended up stealing the money away from him. And she bought a dress with that money. And he still got in trouble. And he got detention and got suspended. You know, so he says, you know, he just basically talks about, like, you know, you think you can trust an adult and they turn, you know, they turn out to be bad. I think we all have that too. You know what I mean? We all have something that's happened to us where people have disappointed us. You know what I mean? So, and then you have Corey Feldman's character there. And he loves his father to death, but his father beats the shit out of him. You know, his father has abused him, physically abused him, and he still worships the ground that he walks on. You know what I mean? And we've all been there too. I think a lot of us have. I think a lot of us have been in those kind of relationships or those things that happen to us in our personal lives that are hard to get out of, that maybe you don't want to see the bad in that person. You know what I mean? And then poor Vern there, you know, Vern's just kind of Vern, you know, he's the fat kid. He says it himself. I'm not being derogatory. He says it. And, you know, I think he gets picked on because of his weight and he just wants to fit in. And I think that's with all these boys, you know, they just want to fit in. You know, at this age, your friends are your family. And even now as an adult, our friends are our family. And in the movie, at the very end, when adult Gordy is typing on his computer, it says, I never had any friends later on than what I had. I never had any friends later on like I did when I was 12. Jesus, does anyone? And I think that's kind of true because when you're young, friendship's so simple. You know what I mean? And this age is before all the politics and before all the drama and the cliques and the jocks and the goth kids and the band geeks and all that kind of stuff. It's like you're all in one room and you all get along pretty well. You know, you all have your it's just simpler, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And I've rattled on for a long time and I apologize for that. But I love this film so much. It's always meant something to me. Like I said, I can relate to all these characters. It reminds me of my youth. And, you know, life's hard sometimes. Growing up is hard. And sometimes you just want to go back and be a kid again. And that's what this film reminds me of. So that's why it's my favorite. So there you go. Thank you guys for listening. Let me go back and see what you all have to say. I talked for a very long time. Yes, that's when I start crying is at the end of the film when Gordy's telling about what happened to each of the boys. And then we go to River and he's like, man, I'm never going to get out of this town, am I, Gordy? And he's like, man, you can be whatever you want to be. And he says, you know, Chris did make it out. He took the college courses with me, and though they were hard, he made it through. He went to college. He became a lawyer. And, spoiler, he was shot and killed. And, so it's so sad because it kind of mirrors what, you know, River, he died too young too. So, sorry, you guys. Oh my gosh. Oh, yes. It is it's a great adaptation. It's my favorite. It really is. So, Rob says the older you get, the less true friends you have. Why is that? Because life gets in the way. We get jaded. Our heart. I'm going to quote The Breakfast Club here, but I think it's true. In The Breakfast Club, Allison says, when you grow up, your heart dies. And I think that's true. We have all these things that happen to us, some good, some bad, and I think we just shut down. We close our heart, and we don't let that many people in our circle. So I think that's why. Thank you. Thank you so much. I love listening to you talk about Stand By Me. It is obvious the movie hits you hard. Yes, thank you. Sorry, I didn't mean to get upset. I didn't mean to get upset. It's true, Cody. It's true. Yep. That's true. Sorry, no legend. I'm sorry. I did put one fantasy film, but not legend. Yep. Oh, totally. Yep. Movies take me back to a time where it was much simpler. Yep. Oh my gosh. Oh. Thank you, guys. I'm just reading through your comments. Oh. People move on with their lives. Yep. It's true. Yep. It's sad, though. Sometimes, it's sad because another line from the movie is people come and go from your lives like busboys in a restaurant. Totally true. Oh, now we got trolls. Damn it. How do I get rid of this? Block user. There. Oh, thank you, Dave. Most genuine I've listened to. I appreciate that. Thank you. I like talking movies. Yeah, we could, Richard, we can add him to the Discord if you want to. Oh, thank you, Dale. Thank you so much. My voice is about gone. I like Dolores Claiborne. That's a great. Should we do top 10 King adaptations next? Would you guys be up for that? I could do that next week. I won't. Well, I don't want to talk about Stand By Me again because people get tired of that. Oh. Jeez. Okay, let's see. Michael has his list. Oh, let me read this real fast. Mike says, when I was 18 years old, an older guy told me when you're 30 years old, you'll be lucky to have 5 friends that always sat with me. Yeah, I know how that is. That's true, Al. Yes, a movie that makes you cry is as important as those that make you laugh. Mm-hmm. Okay. So these must be your King adaptations. So Jesus Christ. I'm tired, guys. Dolores Claiborne, Hearts in Atlantis, Shawshank, It Chapter 2, It 1990, good. Dead Zone, Carrie, Doctor Sleep. I could do a King list. How about we do that next Wednesday? Would you guys want to be up for that next Wednesday? Sure, yeah. Yeah, list them. Yep. Go ahead. Yes, it is. Mike says, I've lost a lot of people in my life too, Beth, that have come and gone. It can be very sad, but it's fun remembering the great memories with these people. Yes, that is true. Those memories never can be taken from us. You were right. Mm-hmm. Okay. Michael's top 10 favorite movies in alphabetical order are Braveheart, Bringing Up Baby, Dolores Claiborne, Forrest Gump, Interspace, Magnolia, Maltese Falcon, Psycho, Purple Rose of Cairo, Singing in the Rain. Nice. You have a classic taste. Definitely love those classic films. There's a new Salem's Lot coming out, I heard. Oh, please do. Yes, if you guys want to post it in the comments, that'd be great. That would be great. Oh, my. Awesome. Well, we can do that. Top 10 King. I'm going to have to write a list. Can I add Stand By Me or not? I'll do a Stand By Me list. Stand By Me less King list. Does that make sense? Like movie adaptations. Yeah, we've got a, I've got like a little small Discord chat that I've started, that I've kind of been slowly adding people to. So I gotta vet you out and make sure you're worthy first. Favorite classic films. Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay. Wizard of Oz. Psycho. North by Northwest. Love that movie. Let's see. Let me look on my Letterboxd real fast. I don't know if I can pull that up. Hold on just a minute. Sort by year. I don't know how to sort this by year. I'll have to think on that. But definitely Psycho. Like I said, The Wizard of Oz is up there. North by Northwest. To Kill a Mockingbird. The Thing from Outer Space. Is that what it's called? The Thing from Outer Space. I like that. I'd have to think about that. Oh, very cool. Very, very cool. I saw I'll tell you, whenever I first was introduced to North by Northwest, in high school, I was a senior in the 90s, and I took summer school and computer classes, summer school. And we would watch movies like one day a week, and my teacher was a huge Hitchcock fan. So he brought in North by Northwest for us to watch, and I'd never seen it before, and I immediately fell in love with that film. So I've loved it ever since then. Okay, good night, Rob. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Al likes The 10 Commandments, Gone with the Wind, Casablanca, and Ben-Hur. The Thing from Another World. Okay, that's what I meant. That's what I meant, Richard. Yes, thank you, guys. That's what I meant. Yes. That's what I meant. I'm gonna have to check out your channel. Awesome. I'm gonna write that down. Or maybe comment on my video, Michael, and then I can find your channel. I'd like to check out your stuff. War of the Worlds. Them. Yep. Top 5 candies. John Candy. I'm writing that down. We could do top 10 John Candy films. That would be good. Top 10 King. We're definitely going to do Stephen King. That's coming. And it will be not only movies, but I'm going to include TV adaptations as well. Like, what I mean by that is TV films. So, yeah. Okay, guys. I think I'm going to sign off because it's been 2 hours. I don't know that anybody's going to watch this again, but Michael Bledstein. Okay, I'm writing it down. Okay. But I do appreciate you guys tuning in. Thank you all for watching as long as you did. I'm going to go back to this. So yeah, this was a lot of fun. I really appreciate it. And yeah, thanks for hanging out with me for 2 hours. So hope you guys have a great day, great night. Comment down below your movies. And if you have any recommendations on top 10s or what you'd like to see, let me know. And we'll do this again next week. So take care, guys. Be excellent to each other. And we will talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Good night.